Greetings! I'm Byla, and I hope you enjoy this video. I'm going to just go through a bunch of questions that you all had about me and to help get to know me a little bit better. Haven't really done one of these videos before, so I hope you enjoy. Just to begin, I'm just going to the typical questions, so like information you want to know about me. As you all know, I go by Byla. I used to go by Blizzard, but that's the past, and I've changed now to Byla. You see him pronouns, and I'm basically just a fantasy artist who just loves to draw dragons. Dragons have just been the best thing I've ever drawn in my life. So, yeah. A lot of these questions were provided by my Instagram followers, but also some of the members of my Discord, which will be linked down in the description. And I hope you all enjoy a little speed paint in the background while I answer some of your questions. Now, the first question, of course, is when did I start drawing? And honestly, the first drawing I ever did was of Mudslide. That was back in, I believe, August of 2019. And with the magic power of editing, you will see him right now. And the crazy thing is that he had no spots. He was a little wonky. His ear was not where it was supposed to be. He just did not look like Mudslide. And I just really didn't know what to do with him. But he was the very first Wings of Fire OC that I drew. So I was very proud of that. Now, my passion for dragons, that's really just a tough question, honestly, because it's hard to find, like, the definite spot of where my, like, love for dragons first, like, appeared. I think it was when I first began drawing Wings of Fire. I think that was, like, the beginning of it all. And I just really liked the human aspects and the familiarity of just being able to have human emotions for animals that typically just make sounds or are absolutely ferocious in the background of almost every action film that talks about the medieval times. But I just really enjoyed the ability to just design a character that could be me, a character that could just be me and just different aspects of who I am, which is kind of where Mudslide came into play. Now, where did my ideas for my 3 Wings of Fire OCs come from? Well, Mudslide, as I said, was my very first OC, and he started everything from where I would be today. The first thing about him, about Mudslide, was just that he was goofy, outgoing. He was just always super excited. He was just ready to go, 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 just non-stop. And I just really loved him for that, because he was just my happy-go-lucky side of who I am. As for Kelp, he was the second one I made. He came well over a year after I designed Mudslide in 2019. I think, if I remember correctly, I think it was like July of 2019, or was it June? I think it was June of 2019 is when he first came in. Yeah, and it was it was a weird time because we all know what happened then. Kelp was a lot more of my fears and things that I just was very unsure about. Okay, I know Kelp literally looks like Turtle or Fathom or anything, but I designed Kelp to be just green because I really wanted a green character, but somehow that just turned out to look exactly like Fathom and Turtle. So I can really see the comparisons now that just years later, they're very similar. But I honestly, I don't think I meant to make it that way, but I think that's just how it came to be. As for Blizzard, Blizzard was my newest OC to the Wings of Fire at the time. Now, not including Byler. Byler is just my newest one that I will talk about in a little bit. But Blizzard was more of my serious side, who just wants to get things done, staying on top of everything. And it's like this idea of like, think of it like when you have like a friend group and you want to just have like a non-competitive game of Mario Kart. But then there's me. I bet you can. Yeah, you'll find a way to imagine it. Now, onto Byler's origin. So, Byler, as you may not know, or if you already know, he is my true Sona, who has replaced Mudslide as my Sona. That's right, Mudslide was my very first Sona, somehow. I can see why I chose him, but Byler is more me, of who I want to be showcased as. Byler is just everything of who I am. And I remember a friend asked me if I was ever going to create an OC that was just not WoF, just something greater than the Wings of Fire community. And I was very unsure at the time. I mean, like, I knew I was eventually going to run out of inspiration for WoF and just build off of what I already had. But at that point in time, I just didn't really want to get rid of anything Wings of Fire at the time. But, I mean, like, I thought about it for a little bit, and I knew that I was starting to, I think it was like a few weeks after that, I was starting to lose interest in Wings of Fire. Very ironic that I was considering not joining Byler. But at the time, he was unnamed. I knew that I wanted my Sona to be a dragon. 100%. And that was in late March when I started being like, okay, I think I really should do it. Late March of this year, by the way, 2023, when this video was released. And I knew it had to be a dragon, because that's literally what I've drawn for so long, and it's just who I really love. It's my identity somehow. And when it was late March and I was just starting to build it, I wanted to have a character that would be blue, which, surprise, surprise, is not very uncommon in the furry community. Surprise, surprise, there's just the joke that everybody has this point. It's a canon event in which every furry has a blue fursona. Surprise, surprise. And no surprise here, I also kind of have a blue fursona. It's more of a scale sona, but scalies, yeah, I don't know how to go through that right now. But I mean, like, but it's not entirely blue, so I mean, like, somewhat true, half true, I don't know, honestly. But yeah, I don't know. But a lot of the time I spent designing Byler was like mid-June and late May. It was when a lot of my time was becoming more free. I had a lot more free time to just spend time designing Byler, which was just unnamed at the time, so it was kind of just my Sona that was just a Sona right now and will be named later type of deal. And a lot of it was just trying to figure out in the world do I create a character who is not anyway like Wings of Fire related, like does not connect to Wings of Fire at all. I think that was the greatest challenge I faced when trying to design Byla, because I've just drawn WAF dragons for so long and trying to be like, oh yeah, that'll be easy. Let's just not draw a character that has a flat snout, that has icicle-like horns, that has really big wings, or just breathes red fire. Or just like, breathes underwater because they got gills. That's all just connected to Wings of Fire in one way or another. And it was just, I needed to figure it out. I needed to find the point that would fit correctly so that Byla was unique and wasn't just a copy-paste, which is the exact challenge I had a lot of fun dealing with, even if it meant learning a few things along the way. But it's weird because Byla was not named until like a couple days before I released him to the public, which was June 25th of 2023. I was on the fence between two different names, which both related to winter in one way or another. And that was Edda or Byla. As you can see, I chose Byla in the end because it just rolled off the tongue better and just fit. It just fit. Honestly, I just had this feeling that it just fit better than Edda ever would. So, it was like 24 hours before I posted, and here I come with a new OC, new Sona that was just thought about and released when I just had one idea. I was like, yep, let's do it. And I put Byla out there, and I was really unsure of how he would be received, but you guys really loved him, and I was very excited about that because I did not know how well received Byla was going to be, because he wasn't a Wings of Fire dragon. He wasn't just exactly of what my art was in the past. It wasn't just like everyone knew me for Wings of Fire art because that's all I drew. Like literally, if you go back on my Instagram to just the very beginning, June 2020, it's Wings of Fire. Wings of Fire, Wings of Fire, Wings of Fire, Wings of Fire. And that slowed down after I just started to lose interest over time, but I still loved Wings of Fire for what it was. As for if I would add more characters to Byla's world, the short answer to that is yes. I'm planning on doing that because that is something I really wanted to expand on, so I have something to draw other than WAF for a lot of the times that I want to draw. And I know that Edda will come back. He will be designed and he will fit something better than what I had for Byla. But Byla will forever be my favorite design, right behind Mudslide. I love Mudslide's design. But one thing that I do know is that my Wings of Fire OCs will interact with Byla at some point. Do I know when right now? No. But I do expect to create some type of storyline with all four of them together. Doing, honestly, I don't know what, but I'm going to expect that Mudslide is going to be the leading factor for all of these meetings because Mudslide is Mudslide and he loves to make new friends. As is how I designed him. But I know that Edda will be a friend with Byla when I do establish a point in which he shows up. On to which dragons I enjoy to draw the most. Out of my OCs, Mudslide is just a whole bunch of fun to draw just because of how goofy he is. He's just my little goober. He just loves to be happy and excited and does not care about what other people say. He's perfect. But then again, Byler, I've been drawing him a whole lot. Like, a lot of the artwork is just behind the scenes that I have not showcased. And I'm just really excited for for opportunities later next year to showcase him more in a different way that I haven't showcased before. But I mean, like, if I would say favorite Wings of Fire tribe to draw, definitely has to be Mudwings. I just really love their flat snouts. They're just so fun. It's too bad Tui kind of just ignored them for most of the series. But, you know, that's okay. At least they got out of, like, the entire trouble of everything else that happened in Wings of Fire. So, yeah. That was the artist corner of this Q&A, or just type of introduction. And now we're actually going to head more towards into who I am and what I do and hobbies and other things. Now, you guys want to know what kind of video games I play, or even if I play video games at all? And the answer is 100% yes. I do play a lot of video games outside of drawing. More specifically, I love to play Splatoon. Also, so it's Splatoon, Minecraft, Pokemon. Those are like the main ones that I play. I also played like PC games when I was younger, like Club Penguin and some type of like Build-A-Bear type thing. I'm not sure, because that Build-A-Bear thing, I don't remember much of what it was, but I do know I played it. I don't remember what exactly it was, but yeah. I do own a Build-A-Bear. I think I named it Snowy, I believe. It's a white polar bear. Oh, I should have just said polar bear. Anyway, yeah, it's confusing. My most favorite game out of those is 100% going to be Splatoon. I just really love the art style of the game and just the ability to customize your character to do what you want to do. I should create like a Splatoon OC at some point because of how much I love this game, but I just haven't really thought about it right now. So I might do that at some point later on. But that is a plan. I know that. My favorite childhood movie or TV show? Okay, so if you don't know me, well, okay, you really don't know me, but my most favorite movie is 101 Dalmatians. That is just the best movie. I just love the character development, the action, but also I love Dalmatians. I want to adopt a Dalmatian later on in my life, and that is like the best thing. As for a TV show, Phineas and Ferb is like one of my most favorite childhood TV shows, and I remember taking this one trip to Disney World with my family one time, and it was like during Christmas time, and they had this Phineas and Ferb dance party going on, and I remember that I danced with Phineas. No, I danced with Ferb when I was there. It was like the most surreal type thing ever, like dancing with a cartoon character. But that was a fun experience. On now for my favorite book series, other than saying Wings of Fire, I will say I really enjoy the Inheritance Cycle. Of course, it focuses on dragons. Well, the focus isn't entirely on dragons. It has dragons in it, as it should be with a lot of the books I read. But I think what really got me into the inheritance cycle was just the fantasy world building that is within the inheritance cycle. I really recommend the book series, not for just the dragons, but for just the unique world that Christopher Paolini created. The cool thing about that is that I got to meet the author once. Yeah, I got to meet the author when he was on tour, and he signed one of my books. That was a Oh, and he read a bit of Murtag, so that was a really fun time. Um, the first book in the series is called Aragon, and you should check it out if you like young adult fantasy novels and you're looking for something new to read. My favorite food, without a doubt, would have to be pineapples. I just I just really love the fruit. It tastes really good, and I don't know what else to say. It's kind of hard to just be like, "Oh yeah, it's my favorite food." I just really enjoy it. For my favorite type of no, my favorite color. Yes, my favorite color, if you couldn't guess with a lot of stuff I made, is blue. I really love the color blue. More specifically, like a darker blue, not like a baby, not like a navy blue, but similar to the similar to like the blue on Byler, like that type of blue. So it's not like it's like full out there, like really dark or really bright. It's like mellow, in a sense, somewhat mellow. Yeah. For my favorite artist or genre of music, one thing that you might not know about me is that I am a really big Taylor Swift fan. I recently got to see her in concert, and that was like the best thing I've ever done in my life. That was a really fun time. I got to experience it with a mutual of mine, and her music is just really good. I don't know. It's sometimes it's just hard to be like, oh yeah, that's my favorite artist, and then here's why. I It's just hard for me sometimes. But to just sum it up, her music has just been it's just been wonderful to have the opportunity to listen to. It was My family got me into listening to Taylor Swift when I was younger. I think it was during the Fearless or it was like the Fearless era when I first started like listening, like okay, consciously listening to it, because I think I was too young to remember anything. I don't know, but out of all of it, is that I have a lot of favorite songs from Taylor Swift, and it would not really give it justice to just name one favorite song. So, how about I go through each era and talk about my favorite song from each era? Or maybe I could just spitfire it and we'll see what happens. So, we're going to start off with Taylor Swift, or debut as other people call it. And my favorite song off the album is I'm Only Me When I'm With You. It's just a really fun, upbeat song, and I enjoy to listen to it. Then for Fearless, my favorite song that came out of that is not from the original album, but rather the Taylor's version album that she released in 2021, and that's Mr. Perfectly Fine. It's just so fun. It's just a fun, upbeat song to have. Yeah. On to Speak Now. Better Than Revenge is just such a fun song to listen to. It's upbeat. It's hard. It's like kind of like rock, but it's not exactly rock. It's just, although I will say It's sad to see the mattress line go, but that was for really good reasons because it was misogynistic. So you have to make sacrifices sometimes for music, and that was just one of them. On to Red. I really like Holy Ground. Holy Ground is a really good song overall, and you should definitely listen to it. It's of course it's upbeat. A lot of my favorite songs are upbeat. The slowest songs are good, and I will get into one later. But honestly, most of mine are upbeat. On to 1989. I Like You All in Love. Surprise, surprise! It's not a fast song. It's actually a slow song. It's slower. It's slower than most of her songs, but I really enjoy it for what it is. On to Reputation, which is my favorite album from Taylor Swift, like ever. Reputation is the best, in my opinion. I really love This Is Why We Can't Have Night Scenes, and I got to hear that live on my concert. So I was very excited for that to happen. To Lover, I really like The Archer. Its lyricism is really good when talking about just what other people are saying about you. On to Folklore, I really love Peace. Peace is a slow song, like Enchanted from Speak Now, but I found a lot of commonality between Peace and just my lifetime, or just my life in general, not lifetime. Just putting things together, because you're not always going to be able to give someone peace who needs it. It's challenging overall to do it, but it's a beautiful song, and you should definitely listen to it. On to Evermore, the sister album to Folklore. I really love Gold Rush. I think just why I love Gold Rush is mainly just because of just it's not as upbeat as like Holy Ground or Better Than Revenge, but I like the lyrics to it, and it's just something fun to dance to. Also, Starlight. Starlight's also another fun one to dance to if you ever want to just like get in a good mood. And then last but not least, we have Midnights. Midnights is her newest studio album, because we're not counting re-records as new music. Okay, there was new music on the re-records through the Vault songs, but I'm not going to count them for this time. But doesn't matter anyway. But in Midnights, I really like Question. Midnights was really, really different than the older Taylor that I was used to. It was very pop, like 1989, and an okay album. Did I think it was the best album? No, I think it was still really good. The 3 a.m. tracks that came out like a couple hours after the album first released. Those are really good. I really like the 3 a.m. tracks, and that's just ironic that I like the kind of like Vault songs. I don't know, like bonus tracks. It's just funny. I like the bonus tracks more than the original album, but that's okay. Everyone has their own unique taste, in a way. Hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about who I am and what I enjoy to do. I hope you all enjoyed learning a little bit more about me. I have a lot of content that I'm super excited to showcase later on next year. That will be more real life-y, and it will be less of just you looking at my art and more of actually seeing a little bit of me in a sense, and not me talking to a black screen currently. If you like my content, then maybe think about subscribing to my channel and hitting the like button, and also commenting down below if you made it this far what your favorite thing you learned about me is, or if you have any more questions, ask me, because I'm happy to ask much if you guys have any more questions. I hope to see you all in the next video. Philo out.